ground to look where my team member is so that I can pass the ball and he can take it forward. So it's all pre-decided.
It has to be automatic. It has to be muscle memory. You can't stand there and think.
Right.
You know, it has to be so much ingrained in your brain that players act as if they are working on some mechanism.
And you have to decide on fraction of seconds, so that's why it is very important to have a pre-decided activity, what exactly who is going to do what when he jumps on the playground. And one more interesting thing is that this strategy changes depend upon who is the opponent team, what is the weather condition, what is the ground condition, right? So there are a lot of dynamic component that really consist of in a playbook that people use in soccer.
So it's ironic, Shashi, isn't it, that the players are following a particular framework, but the environment is spontaneous.
Yes.
So they have to do what they know in an environment where they don't know what is going to happen.
Exactly. That's and in fact that's the irony and that's the beauty of having it also. So. So we'll start with some of the questions that people have already asked. Okay. So the first question that is why you need it, right? So why you need it is simple. When you play football, the objective is to make a goal. Exactly in the same way, when you are in a business, the objective of marketing is to make a goal, make a sale. And that's why you need a strategy to do so, and that's your marketing playbook.
So marketing, sales, it's same as the teams that are playing there on the ground. You have to be spontaneous, you have to be very reciprocative to what the market is throwing at you, what is the need of the market, as well as you should be able to work in a framework so that you know how to respond to environment where the market is responding or the market is trying to come forth with their need. Then how to respond to their need, there has to be a framework to that. At the same time, it is spontaneous, you should be able to act quickly and respond quickly. So, and it's the same as in a sport where what is the objective or goal of a team. Is to make a goal, right? It's not to just keep playing and sustain, and just keep going on and on. There is an objective there, which is to make a goal, right? So it's the same with the marketing team. The goal is what, to make revenue, to make a business impact, to establish a brand out there. So there is an output. So it's basically like a goal. You have some targets that need to be achieved. So it's the same as playing soccer or football or any sport where there is an objective and goal there.
Exactly. And in fact, the another version of it is that, for example, if you're playing a football match, you're there on the ground, you're not making a goal. What will happen? You will lose, right? You will lose the match because the other opponent team it will make a goal, right? So I think, Pranali, it's the same way, in marketing, when you are there doing something, but you're not making a goal, then that's a loss.
It's like we see nowadays is a lot of memes out there. You click here, you double tap, and you will see
the magic.
Or in the comment section, enter one letter, and you will get something. So what is the objective of that? And if I relate that with business, okay, what are we trying to achieve through a marketing campaign? This is a gimmick. A meme is a gimmick, right?
Yeah, it's a gimmick.
I mean, how do you map it to any output?
Yeah.
But in a business, it's not a gimmick.
True.
If you're doing a campaign, if you're even doing a particular assignment of marketing, there has to be some mapping to the output, to the business output, to the revenue.
Yeah.
Something has to happen. Just holding likes and followers, and then what? Is always a question of where output matters. That's what is very important in a business.
True. And I think that's what happening in most of the domain, especially with the marketing team that we get to see. I think most, unfortunately, most of the marketing team just falls for the gimmick and they don't get to the goal. Some people are even shy about talking about it, like, what's the goal, so that's bad.
You could consider the digital team even on top of the marketing team in this situation where I would use the word delusional, where they are delusional about what they want to achieve as a business output or objective. And I have seen digital as well as marketing, they are not the same, by the way. So digital is different, marketing is different. They do overlap in functions everywhere, but they are not the same. But both the teams have this issue that they hide behind the act. So we want to do this campaign, we want to do this video, we want to do this assignment, we want to make these collaterals. So this is an act. So they hide behind this act and they always shy away from the value or what is going to be the output in terms of numbers. So they shy away from numbers. They are afraid of numbers. So this is one big issue with when it comes to marketing. Digital team inclusive in that.
Yeah, and I remember seeing one meme some other day on the LinkedIn where there was a guy holding up a card which says not everything needs a ROI, not everything needs to be measured, and marketing is one. Now, like, okay, you may not be measuring it with how many bucks you made, but at least some value has to be attached. And if you do not believe, go to any business owner, go to a CEO and say that, hey, I'm going to do something that will not going to have any ROI or value. That doesn't sound right.
So basically, I would bring it back to, there is an investment happening here. There is an investment happening in an individual when that individual is employed in an organization. And when there is an investment, it has to be mapped to an ROI. It cannot just disappear into nowhere. Right? So, for example, Shashi, I've seen marketing teams, digital marketing teams. They have PPC and advert plans. Okay, and how is it going to be mapped to generation of leads, or how is it going to be mapped to an output in terms of numbers to the business? Just saying that it will increase likes, it will increase followers, it will increase the reach by this much, that's not enough. It has to show some impact, if not in the short term, at least in the long term. That if nothing, then at least that campaign should have some impact on recruitment, for that matter. That your brand was propelled so much in the market that you were able to recruit candidates, people were able to see the brand, there was brand visibility, so people said, okay, I want to join this organization. So at least that should be an output, type of objective or output. I see marketing team going all crazy about, let's make this video on, animation video banayenge, we'll do this. But then what is the plan for that video? Because there is going to be an investment in terms of resources, energy, time. A lot of team is going to be engaged to make a video. And then what are you going to do with it, and how are you going to map it to getting some output from it? You're going to launch it somewhere and then you're expecting output from it. For that matter, something simple as a website. Companies go absolutely crazy that I would want a 70-page website in which I'm going to write every detail of the content.
And sometimes they're just inspired by looking at others, without knowing without knowing
very large organizations who have huge websites.
So their soccer ground is different, your soccer ground is different, their opponent is,
their league is different,
their opponent is different, so you cannot really copy the strategy.
Their budget is also different.
Big time. Right? So I think this is what is missing. And forget about the marketing professional. I have seen this request, Pranali, from a lot of peer CEOs also, the business owners, where they have already decided what they want to do, but they don't know why. And like, for example, say, hey, I want to make a corporate video, I want to make a lot of videos. Why? Oh, videos is selling. But video selling what, right? What you are selling may not be useful to sell that through a video, right? So I think, yeah, I agree that there is a lot of uh, delusion, about what you needed, why you needed. That is
So a
biggest
lot of
missing.
activities basically, uh, the gap is lot of activities and where is output.
Yeah.
All activities need to be mapped to an output, which you could have a very enthusiastic, talented marketing team who wants to aspires to do a lot of things, get a lot of things done, but always has to be some mapping to a business revenue output
True.
or an ROI.
Yeah. And I'm pulling out the next question that was given to us was, who needs a marketing playbook?
Playbook.
Who is it for?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there is a myth that it's a marketing playbook, it's a strategical thing, it's a engagement that you do, and it is mostly for the large organization, large companies who wants to do big things, so they need to have a strategy. But actually it's not, it is more applicable for small and mid-sized organization.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing that you are attached with is the budget. So with a minimum budget, with a minimum investment, how do I get the maximum return is the topmost priority of any small or mid-sized organization. Unlike large companies who would say, hey, I want to blow a huge budget, and even though I get 50% of what is expected, I'm good with it. But that is not the situation with the small and mid-sized companies. So I feel it's very much applicable for even small and mid-sized companies where there is limitations in resources, where there is a quick ROI mapping that needs to be done as a primary objective.
And especially in small and mid-sized companies, there is a huge gap between the act and monetization.
Yeah.
In large companies, believe me, there is tremendous amount of framework and tools to make sure that every step, every activity is mapped to something, which is a big thing that is missing in small and mid-sized organization, that continuous monitoring of what is being done, and if it is generating any output is not 100% there. It is there, but not so much. So this gap eventually grows.
Yeah.
In small and mid-sized companies.
Yeah.
grows to a point that it's too late to realize ki, oh, we're doing a lot of activities,
But nothing is happening. Yeah.
Nobody thought about, oh, how is it going to really point out in a direction where I am expecting
Right.
these kind of numbers from it.
Yeah.
So I think that answers who needs
Who needs
playbook is
Yeah.
for that matter, any organization where there is a seemingly large gap between the activities being done in marketing and the output in terms of numbers.
Yeah. And moving to the next part of our topic, we talked about why you need it, who need it, what is it, what is there in a playbook. We are talking about it's a marketing playbook, but what
Yeah.
it really consists of.
Yeah.
So I think it consists of a lot of things in a proper sequence, and 4Ds is what when we do this playbook, we make sure that there are 4Ds in that. What are these 4Ds? So the first one is
Discovery, definition, decision, direction.
So and these four terms are nothing but they consist of everything, right, from the capturing of the requirement, objective, to past data, the mission and the vision of what exactly we want to achieve,
insights from leadership team, what they expect from the organization, from their teams, from their business, what are they expecting, what do they want to do.
So first thing, the discovery. So what happens is, it is very much similar to what we do in product design.
Yeah.
You discover it, what
Absolutely.
exactly it is. You make sure that the objective is aligned properly, and you will be surprised to know that in most of the cases when we talk to the leadership team, everyone has a different version of the goals and the objective, they
And
are
the expectation.
and the expectations. So someone wants a quick leads, someone wants a brand,
Yeah.
the HR leadership wants a brand awareness from the recruitment side. See, there is nothing wrong in having a different expectations, but it is very important to connect all the objectives together to make sure that
And they need to converge.
they need to converge.
Converge in one dot.
And if they are not on equal level, then we need to put a level like this is my P1, this is my P2, this is my P3. All three are important, all my priorities, but it has to be mapped with that, because all the activities that is going to be suggested will be mapped with what exactly is the objective that I'm going to do.
So business objective definition, benchmarking, what are the priorities, to the quality of the output that is being expected, the tonality, the quantity of the result that is expected, everything is what a playbook talks about.
Correct, and that's precisely in the definition phase where we define, what exactly it means, so that the marketing team is not throwing some random numbers and showing that as a success, but that success doesn't make any meaning to the business. And this is what is happening. We see a lot of complaints, from the business owners and CEOs that, hey, when I ask my marketing team, they say, oh, we are getting 1,000 visits per week, which is very good, which is very decent as compared to the other competition that we have. But is that good, really good in a CEO's language, right? So we define all the stuff, like what exactly we are going to define as a success, what numbers means what, even the definition of leads,
Yeah. We're getting hundreds of leads.
Yeah.
We are very good in channelizing the incoming leads on the website or through direct campaigns, but the sales is very low.
Exactly, yeah. And why? Because if that is the case, that means the 100 leads, and if you are only converting 99 is going west, right? So
basically, right from the basic, that now everybody's saying lead, but
what is it?
Is the definition of lead synonymous to all the people who are there in the team? So maybe a visitor for someone could be a lead in the team, and for your CEO, somebody who has a business requirement could be a lead.
Yeah.
So now who defines this benchmark? So that's where your playbook would come into picture. Who would where it could be a term that is defined, accepted by all team members.
Right. And that brings another problem statement that I just realized that somehow what is happening is the marketing professionals are making this entire process very complex by coining new terms, creating their own success definition. You see MQL, this is leads, but this is a marketing qualified leads. This is SQL, this is a sales qualified leads. There is a CRM for automation, there is a CRM for lead management, there is a CRM for customer relationship management. There's a lot of complexity that is available out into the market. So I think the main objective that we try to define in a marketing playbook is that what is the simplified form of act and
more
result.
than that, Shashi, the playbook defines for a particular organization something that is personalized, their
Yes.
own personalized definitions
For their ground.
their understanding that can be circulated in the organization, and then everybody is on the same page
Right.
with definitions, with what is to be achieved. Everybody has the same understanding of what is the vision, what the company is about. So that I think that level of customization and personalization is what a playbook can
Correct.
do for an organization.
That's right. And then comes the third part, that is the decision. So based on what we discover, what we derive, what we define, now what are the things that we are going to do? What are the things that is missing? What are the things that is there but that needs improvisation? What are the things that is unnecessary, we are not going to do that, right? So all these decisions are also marked and mapped pretty well in a marketing playbook, saying that, hey, we are going to do the website first. We do not need tons of videos, probably one video or a micro video should be good enough. So depending upon what my budget is, what my plan is, what my resource planning is, we make sure that everything is there, and that's where the decision is marked.
So to the nitty-gritty of a timeline,
Yeah.
that what will go first, videos first or website first,
Oh.
how many
Mhm.
website will have what, till that extent the detailing is done in a playbook, so that everybody knows to the tiniest detail what is the game plan for a certain time period that is defined in the playbook. So
For the
everybody is-
organization,
for
yeah.
the organization, so everybody is
On the
on the same page, knows what direction to go in and how much time they need to be in that direction to reach a particular goal.
Exactly. And last come the direction part, where definitely we are talking about ROI, we are talking about results, right? So it's very important that a marketing playbook should also have a separate section where all the key result areas should be mapped. Like, if we do this activity, what are the result area that we are expecting to see, and in which duration. So in 1 month, what is the result that we should expect? In the first quarter, what exactly result we should expect? So everything is mapped in terms of the timeline, in terms of the result area. If there is a minimum SLA that is needed, like, hey, bringing the quality from point A to point B, and I'm going to measure this point B with a minimum SLA that is going to be these many visitors or these many feedback or something like that, is also mapped and marked for all the activities that is defined, that is decided in the direction part of it. So I think, yeah, that's the 4 section that makes
Constitutes
a marketing playbook.
overall. Yeah.
Exactly. And then now moving to the last section of our topic, which is like, how we do it. So how do we do it? And maybe I can tell you this way, because we have been doing this for almost 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Now, why us is one question, and that gives answer of how do we do it, right? So I think the first fact is that we have a dedicated BU that is our
Lead generation.
lead generation, right?
BU.
Yeah. And just to correct, we mostly do it for the tech companies. So we are in the
So
space.
people who are confused right now, let's clarify
Yeah.
that playbook that we build are for B2B tech companies.
Yeah.
It could be tech, high tech,
Services, products.
products,
Yeah.
software. It could be semiconductor. We are working in very high end technology
EVs,
now.
automotive software,
IoT,
digital twins.
Yeah,
So,
we're working in that. So basically, that's where we relate when we say marketing playbook
Right.
for these kind of
Right.
organizations.
Because the answer that I was going to give about how and why us would closely tied with the fact that we work in this technology space, right? So yeah, we're talking about the lead generation view that we have.
So we get a lot of pulse, everyday pulse of what's going on out there for these tech organizations. So the clients that we have cater to a lot of industries out there, from retail to supply chain to healthcare to biotechnology, and we get everyday live inputs from the market, what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay, and that is how that empowers us to write a perspective for organizations which is accurate, factual, because we have a lot of data and analytics from these markets as to what's going on out there, which technology is working, which technology right now is in high demand. So we have all that input, so that really enables and empowers us to write and use these insights and influence that we have from all these facts. We are better enabled to write a playbook.
Exactly. So that's a huge weightage that we have got, which Pranali said, that a lot of real insight that we get, and these are not the reports that large research companies say that, hey, it's been predicted that in 2022 these many $1 billion are going to be investment in life sciences. This prediction. what we get is that for other clients, when we do lead generation in life sciences, we know what are the problem statement that these CIOs, these business unit owners of life sciences companies are coming to our clients and saying that, hey, we want analytics solution, we want AI to be integrated with analytics, we want advanced analytics. So these are the data that we get to see and hear from the right decision maker, who could be your decision maker also in that space. So that gives a lot of input for us to suggest what will really work for you and how exactly your services and products need to be aligned with the market needs. So that's number one. Number two, I will talk about this. Another business unit that we have is the UX design, right? And we do a lot of product design work. One of the important thing and a common thing between UX and this marketing playbook is the discovery phase.
Yeah.
So in any UX design, we go with this approach of design thinking. We do this discovery phase to understand what this application is all about, who is going to use it, what happen if we do not uplift this feature, does it really going to make a difference to the user who is going to use it, right? So there's a lot. So there is a process that we have developed for our discovery phase in the UX. We use the same technique in crafting a marketing playbook, where we have questionnaires, we have interviews, where we have right questions to ask to capture the data that is going to be used in the marketing playbook in the discovery phase.
Yes. We have our marketing agency BU, which has a very highly experienced marketing team, including me and Shashi in that. So to give you a background, it takes a hell of a time to write the playbook, and you need experts who could then analyze the data that has been collected. Shashi said, we use UX formats and UX processes to get all these inputs, which are a part of the playbook then, but you need very good experienced marketing people who could then decipher those inputs, club them together, categorize them. They have to fall in place. You have to really read a lot and then map it to how they are going to fit into the 4Ds. So that's where our marketing team comes into the picture, where we have very senior people who have worked with a lot of tech organizations, who have worked with a lot of leadership teams of tech organization, who actually know how leadership team thinks, and what is their expectation, what are they struggling with, so we know their pain points, we empathize with them. And that's where the writing part comes into the picture, that the marketing team, including the top senior people, write the playbook for our clients. So this is it's a very complex and it's a very engaging experience to write a playbook, because you need to understand in and out of an organization. So you need really good players who could execute the playbook right from the start to actually designing and then delivering and presenting that playbook to a particular organization.
And the format could be anything depending upon what exactly is the best suited. It could be a PDF document, but believe me, it's 20-25 pager document that consists of a lot of diagrams, prototypes, wireframes, the processes, do's, don'ts, the strategy, mapping, ROI tables. There's a lot of, but it's a huge document. That's what I wanted to convey in a marketing playbook. And the last part is that what happens when we create this playbook, right? So it's like a guidebook. You created one, so what next, right? So we also make sure that the playbook is implemented correctly. So we pick some team members who could become the playbook owner, who could become the auditor if the processes that have been suggested, that is decided, is being followed. And we have an assessment cycle of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days assessment cycle, where we keep mapping that what was planned to expect in 30 days, are we there? And if there is a delta, what is missing? Is it there is a problem in the implementation? There is a problem with the team, so we try to fix it, and that's how we make sure that the playbook that is drafted is implemented pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think that's all. It is all
I do
about.
have one question that has come.
Yeah.
So this person is asking how relevant in today's time.
How
I
relevant
think
is it? Okay. Yeah.
maybe mean pandemic or COVID-19 situation.
Okay. Yeah. Would you like to answer that?
Marketing is still relevant, right? Pandemic or no pandemic. So if marketing is relevant today, marketing playbook is also relevant.
Yeah.
Still people in marketing team need direction. Still people in marketing team need to be on the same page in order to give a business output or a ROI. So in any situation, marketing is there, always there, will be there. So playbook is also always relevant.
And see, it has been always relevant. It's just that the content of playbook might change. Some of the decisions might change based on the current situation. For example, if there is a huge demand or need to do a lot of broadcasting, right? Then you have limitations in the current time frame that no physical seminars is going to happen. There is a limitation in the travel, so
channels are cut down now.
Big time. That there is a limitation. You cannot go and meet people over a sales meeting. You cannot do a private dinner event where you can have a discussion.
Because conferences are not happening.
Right. So definitely in this current situation, playbook is relevant, but the content might change. There could be a weightage that could be shifted from physical activities to more digital activities.
Yeah.
And I think it's more relevant because now the entire focus is towards a digital platform. There is a huge chance that the entire objective will get derailed if it is not handled well on the digital channels. And I have seen a lot of companies pumping a lot of things on the digital platform these days, but I personally find a lot of irrelevant data, non-compelling data, and I could feel that this data is just for the sake of making a checklist that hey, there should be one post per day, tick mark. That is the same 500 people looking at your post again and again and again without any increment in the value, without having any increment in the interest, without having any objective that could be mapped. So I think it's very important to get it now, the playbook, so that you invest absolutely on a most optimal
to the
way.
point, and you have a plan basically.
Yeah. And please remember the objective. The objective is to cut down the complexity, make it simple. And since the objective is to make it simple, it's tough. And that's the toughest thing in the world, to simplify things. And that's why that's what we try to do in a playbook, as simple as possible. Cut down the noise, be to the point. That really helps with that. So I think, guys, that's all we had about the playbook. Hope it helps a lot of marketeers, business owners, and all our viewers, listeners about it. Do we have any further question? Let me check this. No, I think that's all I had, at least on my network. That's all I got. Perfect. All right, guys. So that's all from our side. I hope we did it in the given time frame of 30 minutes. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.